Hi guys, this is my next book in my 50 Books Challenge. It's called After by Efaw. And this book is an amazing book. When I said Willow by Julia Hoban was an emotional ride, this is an even more intense emotional ride. This book is about a 15-year-old who's almost 16. Her name is Devin Davenport, and she is the straight-A student, the soccer star, has a lot of things going for her. And one summer, while she was babysitting at the pool, she meets this guy named Connor, and he's not from around Washington. He lives in Colorado, so it was just kind of, he was just visiting, and things happened, and they hooked up, and she ends up pregnant, but she denies it from herself, and she pretends that she's not, but she puts on the front that she doesn't know she's pregnant, but really she does know she's pregnant. So she conceals the pregnancy, and does her best to hide it, but eventually, she has to give birth, and she gives birth in her bathroom, and by herself, and she's hid the pregnancy so much that she doesn't want to leave the evidence, so she cleans up the bathroom, and she cleaned up like that, but she needs to get rid of the baby. So she doesn't know what to do, so for a little bit she puts the baby in the sink so she can clean up the bathroom and clean up the mess, and she throws all like the towels and the rug and stuff into a garbage bag, and then she wraps up the baby in a towel and puts the baby in a garbage bag too, and ties it up and puts it in the dumpster behind her apartment. Then, like later, because she did that like early morning, and then later in the morning, this guy was just walking his dog and discovered the dog started barking really crazy, and the guy looked and he heard a little cry, so he moved the garbage bags, and then he discovered the baby in there. The baby was still alive, so he calls the police, and then an investigation starts, and the police search for everyone, search the apartments, because that's a good place to start, because it happened, the baby was found right behind the apartments. So they eventually get to Devin's apartment and start talking to her, and she was really rude to the cop. She's laying on the couch with a blanket, because obviously she just gave birth a few hours ago, and she doesn't, she's trying to hide it the best she could. And then her mom gets so mad, she rips the blanket off and discovers that, she's bleeding very bad, and she tries to blow it off as though she started her period or whatever, but the cop knew better, and she eventually is arrested and taken to a juvenile center. And so most of the book is her in the juvenile center talking to her lawyer and trying to get ready for the trial, because they don't know if they want to try her as an adult or as a juvenile, because she is almost 16. So the majority of the book is her in the juvenile center and then preparing for court, and then toward the end is the court trial. And so yeah, and then throughout the book you get the whole story of like her pregnancy and all that. So it's kind of told in pieces, but it is okay. It's a very serious topic and very shocking, but it's so interesting and grips you from the first sentence and keeps you there. And it's not so fast-paced where it's like, oh my gosh, it's done already. No, it's perfectly spaced out, where you find out little bits about Devin along the way, and you don't know everything right away. You only know pieces, and then in your mind you think of what's going to happen, and then that's not what happens. But at the end, I will admit, I was a little mad at the end of the trial, but then I was really mad at Devin for even thinking oh, this is acceptable. But I'm not going to give it away, but then at the end I changed my mind. So I will say this, there are some graphic parts in here. So I think if you're a younger reader, I would say maybe younger than 14 or something, that I would maybe ask your parents before you read this, just because I was shocked, and this is a young adult book. I was shocked that it was so detailed and gave such shocking visuals. But I guess dumpster babies are common, and yeah, it was a really good book. I recommend this to anyone. And I love the cover because if you look at her silhouette or her reflection, she's pregnant and then she's not. So yeah, I give this book a 5 out of 5, definitely, totally. I was really sad to see it end. It's not really that thick, and the print is pretty big, but it was really, really good. I was very, very impressed with this book because you get to know Devin really, really well, and you kind of get mad at her at some point. Like, and you're like, what are you even thinking? But then at the end, it all kind of comes together. So yeah, this is my book review for After by Amy Efaw. I think that's how you say her name. Thanks for watching. Bye!